Hey, welcome back. Well, we are at a field of onions that's drip irrigation. We're here because the first time in 6 weeks we're turning our irrigation on because it's dry. Oh, that's how fast it turns. And as soon as you say, oh, it's too wet, then you wish it would rain a little bit. But we're out here checking it out, have learned the hard way how to irrigate. We found out that you can over irrigate. We don't know where the sweet spot is quite yet. It's a learning curve. We still have a decent crop here. Rain's out spraying. He's spraying a chemical for pests. It's about $800 a gallon, and we're having sprayer issues. He is one hot tamale right now. We're gonna wait, pace ourselves, go see him when I think that he doesn't want to completely come unglued, because it's been a day and a half. We came in yesterday on Sunday and went to spray and have been fighting it for a day and a half. Okay, it's checked. Haven't ran it in a while. The pump was out of water. For some reason the pump doesn't pick up a good prime, but we got it. Oh, and we got a leak right here. Well, if we've got one, we've got 10. Let's keep walking. See how the ground's cracked? That's from the pipe expanding. You might have already been able to see so far that there's a really weird looking onion in this field. Smells like an onion. Tastes like an onion. It's got disease coming in right there on that shoulder. We're trying something new. White onions are not growing in New York State. Probably a good reason for that, because they are not great in this climate. With how arid this farm usually is and how dry this field is, and it's not full of nitrogen and organic matter, and we can control its environment, we decided to give it a whirl. So far, not so great. The population was off, as you saw earlier in the growing season. We had Jan come out and look at it, trying different varieties. I think that we tried a variety that we're not going to grow again, and we tried a variety that we are going to grow again. So process of elimination. So the biggest issue is promoted by the weather that we've been having. High humidity, high heat, just a lot of moisture in the air. It's a thing called sludge. It's a grayish mold that grows on the exterior of the onion, and from what I hear, there's just nothing you can do about it, and you don't know till you know. I think I've looked around for enough leaks. Let's get back to the sprayer row and get on to something else. Ready for concrete. Site work's complete in this building. And they're starting the site work over there for my wash pad, outdoor wash pad with a drain. Permission to come aboard, Captain Stubing.
Yep.
Logan Scott was just here. He told us that he's no longer working for Nutrien, and he got a job with Syngenta, and we can't tell anybody.
Well, probably by the time you publish the video, you can tell people.
Yes, that is correct. His last day is probably going to be Friday, and I'm going to publish it Friday evening. Just kidding. Well, Rain, how's your week been?
Terrible.
Why?
Because we've been fighting with our brand new sprayer all week.
Yeah. What are you fighting with?
Lodging valves, not keeping rate, and we're going to find out if it was a self-inflicted injury or if Monroe Tractor's got some more work to do.
That was the very nice version of what Rain's been dealing with.
I'll let you elaborate further on products that we need to spray that our sprayer can't handle spraying.
Yeah. Products that we talked about before buying the sprayer. A PWM system is a very tricky piece of technology, and a lot of things with technology you gotta learn the hard way. And we learned the hard way this week that certain chemistry could possibly lodge valves.
And they can look absolutely clean even though they're lodged.
Right, so it's hard to believe, but we're gonna go spray now and see if the chemistry we have now, which we have been running throughout the season, is gonna do all right or not. It's beeping at you, Rain. What's it saying?
That it's not Monroe Tractor's fault that it didn't work.
Oh.
Because look, everything's right on point. Oh man, am I gonna have to call Nate and tell him that he wasted a bunch of time? So we're running about 68% duty cycle, which is perfect. It's a good heavy droplet. You're not gonna get the misting behind the machine. You know how you get like that fog that follows you.
Right.
You get up in
But
the
your-
80s and 90s.
Your pressure's 85 though.
Yeah. So if I increase my pump, my system efficiency's in the 70s, whereas if I lower that pressure too much, it'll affect my rate.
And these onions are really mature.
Yeah. They don't
These
have
are-
a lot of size to them, but you don't really want
Barolo
them.
never makes more than a large medium.
And if it does, you're going to be throwing it away.
Right. We're getting ready to put these things to sleep pretty quick here. I think next week when you get back, you're probably gonna consider it.
We'll get the puller out, because that's the simplest piece of machinery to ever check out.
I pulled two videos ago, and the size of them is a little bit smaller than what's out here across the crop. Honestly. And
But-
they're clean as a whistle inside. That's the biggest problem with Barolo, is they have potential to be real fanny faces. We did get 9/10 of an inch of rain, which is awesome. We've gotten cooler weather, less humidity. The crop really looks good, responded to that rain, but what we've got coming up the coast this weekend, please God, don't let it hit us. Looks like it wants to dump about 2 to 4 inches on us, and that will be deadly.
I mean, we can handle 2 inches.
2 inches would probably be acceptable. Everything hangs in the balance at this point of your season. Every input that you've inputted can be drastically changed for the worse, and we could have a real problem. So pray for us. Pray for us.
I don't think they got any of that because the Viper was screaming at me.
No, they got it. Well, as you can see, this field is flat. These onions have hit their maturity. You can tell by the lodging. I had a question last week. What is lodging? Well, you can see it really well in this field. They have all fallen. That's a sign of them being mature. And when you're mature, you're ready for the next stage. They're getting ready to be harvested. What we got to do now is put sleeper on them so that they don't sprout in storage. Probably pull them in another week from now. Alright, looks like it ran pretty alright except for poppet number 66 rain. What are your thoughts on the situation this week?
I think that chemistry is way over my head, and that certain chemistries mixed together don't cooperate well together, and we found out the hard way with a lot of time spent by Tom Rouser and Nick Ruskowskis, and that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
Joe DeBra, appreciate you guys' service. Chemistry issue. Couple tank mix things together just don't work well with NCVs. The PWM system, it was lodging them up. Tried a different mixture of stuff after we cleaned out really good and had no issues.
Even though they look clean, they were still sticking.
Yeah,
it was the actual chemistry sticking the poppets.
It was like, the way it was explained to me, it was like a film that didn't allow them to retract.
This had an issue right away, like within the first pass around the first field.
Yeah, and then with the capstan system, there was issues that I had with that, with like Outlook and Prol H2O that I didn't have with this. Temperate of, is that a word?
I don't know, but it sounded good.
Of each system, I don't know. It's a freaking learning curve, and it costs us a lot of money.
Good morning. Not good morning, but good morning. Well, today our crop hangs in the balance. Hurricane coming up the East Coast, threatening our season. If it hits us head on, that's not going to be good. The amount of rain that they're talking alone is going to cause some serious issues. What we're doing this morning is we're going to get some ditch pumps that we have for emergencies like this, get them in place and ready to save our butts if we need saving. All right, we got the tractor on. Gotta get it unloaded. We got a pump in the barn over here. I'm gonna get that hooked up. Well, Debbie has made her trip to Cerbella Farms, and well, we didn't get 2 inches, we didn't get 3 inches, we just about got 4 inches of rain. So we're going to take a look around and see what happened. That ditch is about 5 to 8 feet higher than it should be. What do you think that does out where the onions are growing? What do you think that does, huh? Well, this is the most helpless farm we've got. Water comes up and you just gotta watch it flow over the ditches and dikes. Got water flowing over here, and this is so far underwater that onions are floating. So that field is going to be a train wreck. This field's corn, which will probably take it just fine. It's just not good. Same place we were yesterday. This is the upper end of that spot I just showed you. And when this goes underwater up here, There's a lot of rain. We got about 3 inches probably in the course of an hour and a half. Well, that's not good. Our gravel road washed into our onions. We got fish swimming around here. Go with your friends! Really nice gravel entrance to the field. And now it's more in the field. This storm exposed a lot of spots where we have issues. But we'll only be able to do so much about it because we're not subsidized. We're not able to just raise the tax rates and get more money allocated to our department. So however much we can take out of pocket and put towards preventing these problems is what we'll be able to do and what we continue to do year round. All the projects you've been seeing that we've been doing, they're to improve these problems. Well, this farm is where we had the hail wind damage earlier this year. So to put it in a simple term for you, it's going to look like peanut butter from the Goonies. Okay, get that visual in your head. There's so much water here, we can't even pump it. It's just coming over the edges. So gotta wait another hour. Living the dream, everybody. Well, water's starting to go down a little bit. It was literally up to the top of that ditch a couple hours ago. Got some pipes cleaned out. Everything that we chopped off these ditch banks floated down to the culvert for the highway and had to clean that up. Probably gonna be up all night checking pumps, waiting for the water to go down. Really not much you can do right at the moment, but this sucks. To be continued. See you next week. Thanks for watching. Oh, and Debbie, go yourself.